Hello YouTube. Got a little project going on here. Kind of started doing it, then I decided I would put some video together on it. So a while back I bought a couple 1022 receivers, this being one of them. Another one being the one that, I don't know if you saw my previous videos or not, but I actually jeweled the receiver on. So the first one was I had some parts left over and decided to put it back together. This one here, I had a receiver and I'm like, well, let's buy some parts. So picked up this barrel from Ruger directly. It was like $128. It's a 20-inch stainless bull barrel. It is a Ruger barrel. If you can read that or not, Ruger. I don't know how clear that is. Ruger hammer forged. Got another flat spot on the bottom over here where it actually tells you, to read your manual and such. Anyway, I have gone ahead and started, like I said, started on this. I went ahead and got it in the receiver. So 1022 barrels basically slide in, and you have a wedge that goes on here that holds them in place. Main thing is getting it lined up, getting it fairly straight. One thing of concern with that is you have a notch in this, and it has to line up with a notch in the end of the barrel. I've got that done. While I'm actually here, I'm gonna go ahead and try to stick this bolt in as well. These are sometimes a little bit aggravating, but you have to hold that back, drop your bolt down, and get it all lined up. It should go forward. So yeah. So mine is falling into the groove. So it feels good there. Looking at it down the front, this flat spot appears to be good and lined up. Maybe there's a more scientific way to line those up, but the wedge should do some. You definitely don't want to pull it in with the wedge, but I actually used this hammer, set the back of the receiver on something solid, but not that's going to scuff it. Actually, carpet floor is not too bad here, and tapped on the end of the barrel with this rubber mallet. Went in pretty well, especially being a new barrel, being a new receiver. So we're going to go ahead and finish throwing this thing together. So I've got the barrel pulled in. Main thing is it's seated flush, and throw these screws in here. So while I'm putting these screws in, how tight do you tighten these? Well, this is an aluminum receiver, so we definitely don't want to strip anything out. The manual that came with the barrel says, I don't know what I did with the, there it is. It actually tells like firm or just a good, let's see, what did it say? Install the V-block and retainer screws. Hand tighten the screws as tight as possible. Hand tighten as tight as possible. Yeah, that's Ruger's instructions. Don't really like those instructions. My hand tight might be tighter than your hand tight, or your hand tight may be a lot tighter than my hand tight. Your wrench may be longer than my wrench. So did a little looking. 28 inch-pounds is the preferred tightness for these. So 28 inch-pounds is not a lot. I don't have an easy way of measuring that currently. I have a torque wrench over here, but don't have a bit. Not sure I can get a bit in there good and straight to do that. But we're going to talk about inch-pounds a minute here. So if I understand correctly on inch-pounds, if you come 1 inch off of the screw and you pull 28 pounds, that's an inch-pound. So if you come 2 inches off the screw and you pull, this thing needs to be 28 inch-pounds. So I guess what I'm trying to say, if you come out here and pull 1 pound, it'd be 1 inch-pound. So from what I'm reading, 28 inch-pounds is preferred. So if you were right here, you would pull 28 pounds. Well, that's kind of hard to gauge. If you come up 2 inches, you'd pull 21 inch-pounds. If you come up 3 inches, you would pull 14 pounds, not inch-pound, 14 pounds. This wrench is 4 inches long, so you would actually take 28 divided by 4, and you would really pull 7 inch-pounds. So if you think about 7 inch-pounds on the end of that, that's an AR trigger basically. 7 or 8 inch-pounds is an AR trigger. So really, you're not pulling too hard on that thing. I'm probably pulling more than that just because I want it to be seated, but not terribly hard. All right, so barrel's in, barrel's seated, bolt is in. We need to put this buffer pin, I guess they call it, or retainer pin in. Again, rubber lock hammer. All right, get that placed in. So this is a BX trigger. I think I said the barrel was $128-ish or something is what I ended up giving for it. The bolt I bought it off eBay. It was like $90. The receiver $70. BX trigger for the money, hard to beat. $65. Yes, there's better triggers. Yes, there's much better triggers, but for the money, it's a really good trigger. This bolt I did put it in there. It does have a light film of oil on it already. When I received it, it was shipped with one. Just you do want a little bit of oil. I don't like a lot, but just a little bit of oil. So so we've got this all together. This trigger, we're gonna go ahead and drop it in. One thing, this little piece likes to flop around on a 1022 trigger, so be sure you have it in the correct spot in the groove, and let's stick the trigger in. See if we can get these pins in place. These pins just push in. They're no hammer needed. All right, so barrel. Whoops, I just lost a trigger pin, or actually a pin out of the. That's another thing to be careful. The pin that actually hold my bolt lock and it's pretty loose, slipped out of there. So be careful with those pins in the trigger assembly. All right, so this I would say receiver, barrel, trigger assembly all complete. The stock. So I picked up a Hogue Overmolded Thumbhole. I think it's Thumbhole Tactical Stock is maybe what they call it. Wanted something different, and I've got a few different 1022s. So I wanted something a little bit different. We're going to go ahead and keep these pins in place there. You see the pins falling out left and right here, but keep those nice and straight. Once we get them in here, they won't go anywhere. So we're going to see if we can drop this into place. That will keep our pins in place. All right. And we also need to tighten the screw on the bottom. All right. So we have put together a 1022. Not that complicated. This was all from parts. Sorry you didn't get to see me put the barrel in. Like I said, I'd already started on that. It's not that difficult. Just be careful, keep everything straight. Pretty decent looking little rifle. Got to figure out what optic I want to put on it. I may put something on it temporarily just so I can get it out and actually shoot it. But I don't know, nothing crazy. Maybe a 3x9 or 4x12. Don't want to spend a lot of money on it. So it's just going to be a fun rifle, but it's a little bit heavy with this bull barrel, so it may end up being a bench rifle. But anyway, everybody, I appreciate it. I don't know. Like I said, you may have some better thoughts or questions, or if you have any thoughts or comments, please leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please click like. And if if you like my content, I don't have a lot, but hey, every once in a while I'm trying to throw something on here. So if you like it, please subscribe. I appreciate all my subscribers, and it helps me out. Maybe one of these days I can make enough to off of YouTube to actually buy my lunch or something one day. I don't think it's going to be a retirement plan or anything, but maybe it'll help out. Anyway, as I said again, this is 731 Tim. I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope everybody has a good night. If I don't talk to you, everybody have a Merry Christmas as well.